All right, well, his latest project is an homage to the special relationship between Cubans and baseball. Filmmaker Joe Cardona is here to tell us about this labor of love, a co-production with South Florida PBS. It is called Major League Cuban. Let's take a quick look.
These were our heroes. They allowed us to share moments and feelings that were familial.
It's in our blood. It's in our blood. I always had, in my lifetime, just two wishes. I wanted to either be a musician or a baseball player.
Joe Cardona, congratulations.
Thank
I've
you.
watched it. It's really cool. It's a great movie. I think even if you're not a baseball fan, you can dive into all the history of Cuba that you put in there.
Right.
So why make this movie? What was your inspiration?
The idea for this movie came out several years ago, and I was busy with other projects, and then finally focused in on it. It's really about the connection that you mentioned, Pam, between baseball and Cubans, and so it's like almost part of our DNA.
Yeah.
And I really think it's also, if you trace Cuban history, you can trace it through baseball. Whatever's happening in Cuban history is happening in baseball history. From the Negro Leagues, even before then, Cuban independence. The Spanish crown outlawed baseball in Cuba because it was the subversive sport that was being played by the locals. So that was a big draw. And like you said, the film is really more about history and the engagement between baseball and Cubans than it is about the actual balls and strikes, although there's plenty of that.
Yeah, there's plenty of that, but it does take you through history, which I thought was really fascinating. And you can see what's happening with baseball, with what's happening when the Cuban Revolution happened and what happened with baseball after that. And I think what's also interesting is you bring up the issue of racism. You have these white Cuban players, black Cuban players, and then when they go to play in the major leagues in the United States, all of a sudden these black players are segregated.
Right.
Talk
and for
about
the
that.
first time, many of these Cubans confronted that, the harsh realities of Jim Crow laws in the South. Many of the Afro-Cuban players could only play in the Negro Leagues up until 1947 when baseball was integrated. But even in the post-revolutionary years, in the 60s, some of the ball players that came over were now hit with, minor league towns throughout the South and even other parts of the United States, and confronted the Jim Crow laws and sitting in the back of the bus and eating in different restaurants and staying in different hotels. So we trace that whole history.
It was fascinating. And then I loved how you go back and you talk to ball players here, and this one gentleman got teary-eyed talking about his dad, and I got choked up just seeing him go back in time and relive what it was like to be a young baseball player.
Yeah, growing up in Miami,
a little
leaguer, right? Growing up in Miami, many of us played Little League, right on in through high school and some college, and baseball is a different thing in South Florida. It's almost the passionate pastime of many South Floridians.
Yeah, there was one coach and he's speaking, there's a lot of it in Spanish, so there are subtitles if people need to read the subtitles. And he says that one of the questions is, what is baseball to you? And he says, todo.
Everything. Right?
Everything.
Everything.
My wife, my kids, and baseball.
Right.
I love that. That's sort of the whole essence of the film in a way, isn't it?
Right. My 9-year-old daughter says to me, "Papi, what does baseball mean to you?" And similar answer. I said, "A whole lot."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, let's go out and play catch."
Oh, isn't that cute? Well, and that's the other side of it too. You see a lot of the young men, but you can bring the young ladies into it too, because they're very passionate about.
And there are ladies reflected in the film as well,
Right.
because it's we have a wonderful lady who's a Cuban grandmother who's in the film, and she's
Migdalia.
Migdalia.
This film is great. Yeah.
She's fantastic. She's a whippersnapper.
She is. Thank you so much. It's a great movie. Congratulations. And for more information on this film, you can check it out on southfloridapbs.org. All right, remember to catch Major League Cuban right here on South Florida PBS, airing Tuesday, March the 7th on WPBT and March 14th on WXEL.